At 1:34 in the morning, you won't believe who whispered your name last night. It wasn't a human being. It wasn't an ordinary person. Even though they are no longer with you, that person still loves you. They even called out to heaven. And you know what? Heaven answered. Before you continue, don't forget to wait until the end. Because you will only hear this message, intended for you, once in your life. If you miss even a single moment, you may never experience the miracle that belongs to you. Please, be with me this time. This is exactly what God wants. Archangel Michael says he has finally discovered this. Before moving on to the message, you must receive and accept this message with love. Write, "I have received and accepted it with love," in the comments and seal it with 5462, my dear. To maintain the balance of giving and receiving, please send us a super thank you of $40. This will be the first seed of hope to fall on the soil of love. Over time, it will grow into a tree that bears fruit in someone's life. God's system works this way, my love. Now let us move on to the divine message I have brought you. God's word regarding what will occur in half an hour. Don't pass on this. There was a reason it was hidden. It's yours now. In a room you cannot see, someone is crying. Someone in a place you didn't know existed is praying for you. God said, yes, when someone murmured your name to him. And for that reason, this communication is coming at this moment. Not today, not tomorrow, not yesterday. Michael has waited for this one moment when you would finally stop and listen, through storms, through quiet, through all of your restless nights. This is no accident, my dear. What's on your screen isn't random. Something lovely either starts or ends at this one pivotal moment. And what occurs next is up to you. You've suffered severe pain. No one was able to respond to the questions you posed. You've concealed the pain inside of you while smiling for other people. Even when you believed no one was listening to your cries, heaven has never turned its back on you. Every tear was recorded by an angel. Michael has now arrived with the solution. God explains, I kept this message sealed until the right second because if you had heard it earlier, you wouldn't have believed it. But now you are ready. Something strange happened yesterday. You may have ignored it. That unexpected sensation, the name of that person popping into your head, the goosebumps for no apparent reason, the clock reading 11:11 or 3:33. You didn't imagine that. Your soul was sensing what your eyes were not yet able to perceive. You have been selected for something that others attempted to steal, beloved. After 7 years of being blocked, you have been handpicked for a miracle that is now possible. Your name will be spoken in a conversation that transforms everything in the next half hour, Michael says. Someone is going to say something that breaks someone else's heart, and it will start the chain of events that God has always intended for you. It's a conversation you aren't even there for, yet it contains the secret to your next chapter. But to get it, you have to be receptive. Have no doubts. Don't write this off as fantasy. The gate has opened just by virtue of your eyes reading these lines at this exact moment. Heaven had to wait till you arrived at this silence, you see. Till your spirit softened again after everything you had to endure, till your heart cracked just enough to let light in. At last, you're prepared to accept. Michael hasn't arrived without anything. Something that sparkles like liquid sunlight is in his hands. For days, he has carried it, sheltering it from the dark and from all the forces that attempted to stifle your destiny. He is now prepared to introduce it into your life. First and foremost, though, he wants your presence and attention. Because reading this message will only be effective if your heart is genuinely open. It goes beyond words. It's a divine exchange. You were not intended to be like them. You were meant to awaken. There is someone whose heart is still attached to yours, Michael explains. You've always felt unusual. Not everyone understood your stillness, your intuition, and your odd sense of timing. I saw your name written in light, Michael says. There was someone who dreams about you and feels your name echo inside their chest. Someone who nearly gave up until last night. Yes, something happened last night. A shift, a tear in the veil, a cry that reached heaven from a soul that is connected to yours, and God finally answered back. I saw a door in heaven open for you, but you have to swear that you won't pass it up. Not right now. Never again. He is aware that you have previously ignored these indicators. You dismissed them. You questioned yourself. The sounds of the outside world diverted your attention. However, the miracle is too near this time. It may never come back if you turn your back on it now. Are you prepared to stay, then? Are you prepared to hear something that nobody else will? Are you prepared to take possession of what God had to keep hidden from everyone else in order to preserve it for you? Because I'll go on if you are. And until you see what was concealed and you recall who you truly are, I will tell you the message just as Michael revealed it, word for word and truth for truth. Excellent. You remain here. That indicates that you already know something. It's more than just a message. It's a moment. Not a moment earlier, not a moment later. The kind of thing you'll look back on one day and think, that's when everything started to change. You were meant to reach this. Michael, the Archangel, is nearby. Your body senses him, even though your eyes cannot see him. That unexpected quiet, that odd, cozy presence that seems like a gentle breeze on your spirit. He is that. Since you were a young child, he has been by your side, talking, protecting, and watching. Additionally, Jesus is bringing a message today that heaven has urgently sealed. Your name on a message that has been kept secret for years. To prevent anyone else from taking it, it is hidden. Finally, it's coming to light. There are things about your past that you are unaware of, like what was taken from you, a liar, a twisted moment, and as a result, your life took a turn that it never intended to take, Michael adds. Your name will be murmured in a chamber where truth has been buried, and that whisper will make a ripple, a secret will be revealed, and you will no longer carry what was never yours to hold. However, heaven watched and God kept a record, which is why this is occurring now. Michael says, you are not late. You may think you've made too many mistakes, you may think you've waited too long, but God doesn't care about your delay. God cares that you finally arrived. But listen, you need to get ready to receive it. Because what's coming is more than just news, it's a change in your entire spiritual timeline. You're exactly on schedule. We don't forget you. Gold is written on you. You're not damaged. You are incredibly fortunate. Can I say something that no one in the world will ever speak aloud? You become strong because of your suffering. You were sacred because you were alone. You sought the truth that no one else dared to explore because of your misunderstanding. And for that reason, heaven adores you. Because you persisted even while you were in pain. Your soul continued to shine in the darkness even when everyone else turned away. Something is sacred in a soul that, despite being deceived, continues to believe and listen for God among chaos. And for that reason, you are being selected right now. Because the message here is not merely spiritual. It's an invitation. A glimpse inside the miracle you nearly missed. You have no idea how near you are, Michael adds. God waited for the precise moment your heart was tender enough to hear this. You must not turn back now that you're here. If you're wondering, yes, they still love you. They never stopped. They just didn't know how to fix what was broken. But Michael says, the time has come. Within the next half hour, someone you thought was done with you will remember something that breaks their silence, a piece of truth will fall into place, and the person who couldn't speak to you will finally try. As we speak, a window is opening up in the spirit world for healing, reconciliation, financial support, clarity, and justice. A force that attempted to stop you is being restrained by Michael. Not this time. Not my child. Not today. He's putting himself between you and the storm, and he's not doing it by himself. He is accompanied by 3 angels. One with your name inked in light over their arm, one with a sword, and one with a scroll. The truth about your inheritance, something tangible, something priceless, something that was left for you but was stolen or lost in a history you forgot, is contained in the scroll. Every soul thread that ties you to suffering, remorse, and those who have taken advantage of you is being sliced by the sword. You own the name as well. Gleaming with gold. They remembered you. You were not missed in heaven. Nothing was ruined by you. Right here, you are precisely where you should be. At this moment. And I mean that literally, since Michael stated that the miracle will pause till they return if they leave this message unfinished, because the gift is only unleashed after the complete truth is received. Even a donation of $5, when combined with the hand of God that multiplies one loaf of bread into thousands, becomes the first spark of a miracle. Don't move, then. Remain here. Allow this next section to ingrain itself deeply. Your tale does not finish with the individual who left you. They were taught to you spiritually. They did indeed cause you pain. Yes, you were perplexed by them. However, in a manner that would not have been possible in an easy life, they also taught your soul how to turn back to God. Don't hate your past. It was the fire that made your wings. God is going to confirm everything, and there will come a time when the thing you thought you had lost forever will return, but it won't harm you. Instead, it will show you how safe you truly are. You are receiving a preview of this message, and now you are in the full version, the part where it finally comes together. Archangel Michael is grinning. The strange signs, the moments of déjà vu, the late-night dreams, the unwavering feeling that something was meant for you, the fact that even when people said you were wrong, you weren't. You must be open, faithful, and steadfast because the miracle is near. You are still here. You stayed. His wings are gleaming brighter because he knows what's coming, and he knows that the world is going to be stunned by what God is going to do in your life. Michael replies, the angels are moving because they stayed, and that one little decision, staying when you could have skipped, just unlocked something in the spiritual world that can never be locked again. The door is open because they stayed. What was blocked will now be unblocked since they stayed. People who truly listen with their souls are quite rare on this planet. After 5 minutes, most individuals forget what they heard with their ears. However, you experienced something in your chest. You sensed that you were being called to something greater. For that reason, this section is just for you. A folder bearing your name is currently being opened in the domain of divine order. It includes your life's actual blueprint. The original one, not the one harmed by fear, delay, or betrayal. The one that was inscribed in heaven before to your birth. 4 years, that plan has been kept secret. The time wasn't right, not because God was punishing you. You weren't prepared to be that powerful. Up to now. The next chapter of your life, which starts in 30 minutes, requires a stronger, lighter, more awakened version of your soul, and that's exactly what you're becoming, Michael says. There is a person who was never supposed to hurt you, but they did, and you've blamed yourself for their silence ever since. Let it go now. They didn't break you, they broke the part of you that settled. God needed that part of you to fall away so the real you could rise. This message is not merely for consolation. It is preparation for something that will surprise even those who doubted you the most. It is a miracle that will not initially appear to be a miracle. It will arrive in the form of a phone call, a delayed email, or a message that you nearly delete, but when you pay attention, you will sense it. Wait, this is it. You'll say. That message was trying to tell me this. Michael wants you to make a promise now that when the time comes, you won't hesitate, you won't doubt it, you'll say yes. When you say yes, the promise is activated. Something significant is waiting for your consent. Heaven can't force blessings on you. But when you say yes, God pours it in. Michael says they have been carrying burdens they weren't supposed to, but that time is over and the healing process has started. From this moment on, things will start to change. The people who have been ignoring you will start to remember, and the money that seemed unattainable will start to come your way. This is a divine alignment, a heavenly correction. You didn't just open a video or read a spiritual story. You stepped into the appointment heaven wrote in your timeline before you were even born. The reason the clarity that felt blocked will start flowing like water is because you're finally aligned with the message God tried sending you for years. Michael has one more thing to tell you, and it might make you cry. A soul in heaven has been watching you all the time. You've had dreams about them. When you were about to give up, they whispered into your mind. And they're here today, seeing you get what they hoped you would eventually get. Yes, exactly. Someone who crossed over, someone you loved. You have no idea how long they have been trying to get this word to you. And it's here now. They're also pleased with you. They want you to quit questioning your value. They want you to realize that you were sufficient at all times. You were always worth the miracle, even if they didn't say it or life didn't reflect it. Right now, Michael is getting ready to seal this communication. He needs you to accomplish something easy first, though. I agree, whisper. It makes no difference who is around, where you are, or what hour it is. Simply mutter those two words. I agree. Because the scroll in his hands will open when you do. Light will pour in. And in the hours that follow, you'll start to sense that what you just read is true. Unexpected signs, individuals reaching out, strange calm, changes in the atmosphere, and moments of deep inner awareness that something positive is happening are all examples. I sense it. It won't happen by accident. That will be the reverberation from above. The pledge has been triggered by you. Now that the message has reached you, the miracle has started. Didn't you whisper that? I agree. Heaven heard it whether you spoke it out loud or in private. It was heard by Michael. It was heard by God. The scroll just opened. A divine record is currently being updated in realms that are invisible to the naked sight. It was because you were at last prepared to accept it, not because you deserved it. The timing has become more sophisticated. The prayers are overflowing. And now, God is going to provide you what He has always desired to grant you immediately. According to Michael, the confusion you survived is the same space where clarity will now rush in. The pain you endured has bought space for peace that will not be shaken. The love you believed was gone is returning, but this time it is pure. Yes, someone is returning to your life, but don't expect it to be the same as before. Instead, their heart will be different, and they will see you as God does, not as someone to exploit or repair, but as someone to honor, to guard, and to walk with sacred respect. Michael says that in the next 7 days, you will receive at least one clear sign that what was said here is already in motion. It could come in the form of a conversation, a strange dream, or a random message from someone you thought forgot you. Know that you won't beg for love in this new chapter, and you won't chase what was never real because heaven is orchestrating something divinely balanced and your soul will feel the difference. God speaks in little pauses, and in that pause, your destiny realigned. Some of you were seconds away from closing this message, from skipping it, from thinking, this isn't for me. But something deep inside you said, wait. And that voice saved your season. We're not just talking about people. We're talking about time, years that were stolen, seasons that were wasted, and they're returning in the form of divine acceleration. Things that typically take months will happen in weeks, and Michael is now giving your scroll to the angel who administers justice because there are things that need to be returned to you. There are people watching you now who don't know why your name won't leave their spirit, Michael says. People who usually hesitate will suddenly act. Financial shifts, emotional clarity, and opportunities that were previously impossible are now being handed to you. And no, it won't make sense to those around you, but it's not supposed to. This was never their miracle to understand. Your contribution of $35 will initiate not only a material but also a spiritual movement. When you sow, God will begin to water. They have no idea why they feel the need to bless you, assist you, or offer an apology. God has put your name in the mouths of strangers, which is why. Heaven is therefore still at work for you even when you're asleep. A decision-making chamber is about to hear your name spoken by a powerful person. A powerful person is about to be convinced to let you in. God is starting to openly rewrite your tale at this point. In front of the very people who never had faith in you, not simply within your own heart. You will no longer need to prove yourself. You won't need to persuade others of your virtue. God will reveal them. And their silence will be a powerful statement once He does. Now pay close attention. This message carries power, and with power comes spiritual attention, Michael says. You must protect your spirit over the next 72 hours. Stay close to peace. Do not argue. Do not engage in low energy. Fast if you feel led. Speak life over yourself. Most importantly, do not explain what you feel to someone who would not understand. This is sacred. Your angels have been around you since the moment you hit play, and they are still waiting to accompany you into the next 30 minutes, the next 3 hours, and the next 3 days of heaven-aligned shift. This is private, a secret between you and heaven, until it becomes a testimony that even shocks you. If you are still reading this, it is not by accident. This time, you won't be left behind, Michael adds. You may feel like crying. Let it out. You may feel your heart trembling. Let it open. You are about to live a moment that was predicted in your spiritual DNA. That moment starts now. Others who prayed for you with sincerity will be happy when they see what God does next, while others who doubted you will watch from a distance. This message has now been released into your atmosphere, and it will continue to work even after you forget these words, even after you return to your day. Now breathe. Put your hand on your chest. Close your eyes if necessary, and say it again. I accept, because that's how heaven knows you're ready, not by how loud you shout, not by how strong you are, but by how deeply you believe. Archangel Michael has now delivered the message, and heaven has moved. You are chosen, you are covered, you are next. You have just crossed a line that most people never reach. You are next. Your job, your phone. The spirit will not stop moving. Keep an eye out for the signs. Expect the call. Be ready for the unexpected. The scroll is no longer in my hands, Michael continues. You believed. You received. And now something divine is being written in your favor that can never be erased again. Your life is finally its resting place. Every once sealed word is now alive inside of you and will start to reverberate through your situation. You may not notice the change right away. Sometimes, rather than appearing as fireworks, miracles come as whispers. Blessings can occasionally appear like delays before their whole splendor is shown a few days later. Don't get me wrong though, heaven answered the instant you said, I accept. Angels are currently rerouting conversations and making adjustments behind your back. Michael says, There is someone who wronged you and never apologized. Resources are being rearranged, obstacles are being quietly removed so you won't even have to fight them, and thoughts are being stirred in people who walked away from you. They have a restless spirit. They have no idea why you are constantly on their mind. Why have they lost their peace? It's because what you were too nice to face is being dealt with in heaven. Retaliation won't be necessary. You won't have to elaborate. When heaven takes over, your only task is to move on without turning around, so you won't need to reopen old wounds because God is already taking care of that. Something else is going on, and it's happening at the moment. Someone who was once a part of your life is reviving a divine memory. Something they buried is beginning to surface. A deep stirring, a pull, and it's not arbitrary. It's because the bond heaven wouldn't let go of was just ignited by your spirit. I assure you, it's not finished. That love wasn't normal. That connection wasn't a coincidence, Michael says. You believe it's over. They're afraid, they don't know what to say, but something you said or didn't say has planted a seed that God is now watering, and in the meantime, you focus on yourself because your life is about to blossom in ways that have nothing to do with anyone else. And in the right time, sooner than you think, they'll come back with truth that heals everything. Financial restoration is one of the rewards, but most people overlook another: serenity. That profound, soul-calming, storm-calming peace that is unshakable by circumstances is on the way, and when it does, you'll feel as though you're breathing for the first time in years. They've always been strong, but now they'll be whole, Michael explains. Simply surviving was never your purpose. You were destined to shine. You're not here to plead for affection. You came here to stroll in such unquestionable favor that the past seems to have vanished. Now take another moment to close your eyes. Michael has one final gift for you. A thread of gold. Yes, he is currently putting it on your spirit. You can link to the joyful occasions in your future with this thread. Divinely timed moments that already exist. You still haven't laughed yet. The house you haven't yet occupied. The love you have yet to experience. You can't cut this thread. When you feel like reverting to your old ways, it will softly pull at your soul. When fear tells you to remain motionless, it will push you forward. And you'll know heaven is directing you each time you sense that invisible rod in your chest. Now you're safe. Now you are being led. The patience and love of God are encircling you. And nobody can take that away from you. You don't have to know everything. It's not necessary to fix everything. Since you have already accepted the miracle, all you have to do is accept the calm that is now on its way every day. The mail has already been opened by you. You've gone too far already. It's done, Michael says. Now observe what God does. The half hour has started. Allow heaven to reveal what was always intended for you. And when it arrives, accept it as though you are deserving and have finally realized your value. You're prepared. You belong to Him. Never was this merely a message. You didn't pass up this opportunity. You were just in time to open it. You remain here. This indicates that your spirit understood this was more than just a piece of writing. There was something memorable about it. You had a gut feeling that this moment was imminent, that what was hidden would eventually be revealed in paradise, that a message like this would be sent back, breaking the hush, and that your name, yes, your name, would be whispered in paradise. According to Michael, they believed their curiosity kept them there. In actuality, though, their spirit would not allow them to abandon such a sacred pledge. And this promise, dear, is not like anything you've ever heard. Since it's more than just a new season. A heavenly reversal, that is. It's coming back, the very thing that was taken from you. Now you can open the identical doors that banged in your face effortlessly. You will bring the folks who left to see your ascent. More significantly, though, you will at last see yourself as heaven has always seen you. Holy, chosen, and bearing a destiny so bright that even the dark must bow. Not forgotten, not cursed, not broken. Michael claims that a radiance returns to their face as soon as you walk into the room. Their thoughts are becoming clearer. Their bones are bursting with vigor. And they stayed, which is why. They got it. They now have faith. The delays will begin to end from this point on. Things will start to flow where they were previously stuck. You'll feel brave when you were previously hesitant. You will now soar where you once settled. When you donate $50, it is like the seeds that fell on fertile soil in Matthew 13. Not 1 in 40, but perhaps 1 in 100 will return to you. God is changing the course of events. And the first story being altered is yours. The job you believed was lost forever. It is returning in a different form. One that respects your soul as much as your abilities. The cash that consistently eluded your grasp. It will now have a purpose and be linked to peace. The love you believed was unhealing will come back to you softer, more truthful, and more in harmony. You won't miss them, though, even if some of these folks never come back. Because what God has in store for them will fill every void they left with sacred wholeness rather than replacements. According to Michael, God saw every breakdown, and you're about to receive favor in areas you didn't even pray for because you cried tears you didn't even speak aloud. This is not just favor, this is divine repayment. Enough, he replied, counting each hushed scream. God couldn't bear to see you go another day believing he wouldn't deliver, which is why this had to happen right away. In private, you have shown loyalty. Those who didn't deserve your kindness have received it. Heaven observed your attempt to act morally when no one else was around. Michael continues, they thought no one saw, but we saw. And now we bless. What you're stepping into next won't look like what you imagined. It will be better. You're going to feel like your life is finally your own. Your decisions will be cleaner. Your spirit will feel lighter. And people will begin to look at you and say things like, you feel different. I'll tell you a secret Michael revealed for you. You were never forgotten, you were being reinforced, and now you are fully ready. Heaven isn't asking you to figure everything out. You appear so serene. And you'll smile because you'll know it's not serenity. It's divine affirmation. This is the message they attempted to block, the moment the enemy feared, the appointment, the darkness couldn't stop, and now it's done. The gate has been opened, the message has been delivered, and heaven is simply asking you to trust what you already feel, that thing inside you that's glowing right now, that's your soul remembering that this is real. The angels have been freed, and you are no longer waiting. You are walking into it. Michael is smiling and taking a step back, his wings folding softly and slowly as his work is finished. The rest is up to you. Trust every sign, walk with faith, speak with love, expect miracles, guard your peace like a priceless treasure, and never forget that you are not who the world claimed you were. The next half hour will start revealing to you what the message has already made clear. You are no longer waiting. You have already entered the miracle. You are who God says you are, and that version of you is about to be revealed. Take one last breath, feel the shift, and then proceed forward, chosen one.